Welcome to another edition of Objective Bias featuring yours truly. And I got a special guest in the building, my basketball brethren, Cdot, aka Cory Farmer. How you doing, bro? How you feeling,
What,
man?
what's good, brother, man? I appreciate you having me on, man. That you know it is. It's all love, man.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. We've been trying to get this connection for a minute, so shit. I'm just glad it finally aligned.
Right.
But let's just jump right into it. The conversation I want to have today is pretty much a conversation I feel like us former collegiate players or athletes or even professional athletes rarely have. You know what I
Uh,
mean? Just like the transition from being a full-time collegiate athlete or pro or whatever the case may be to transitioning into being a everyday working citizen, so to speak. You know what I mean?
uh,
Before I get into or before we get into it, just some background. Um, when it comes to me and CDOT, we literally had the same collegiate path. Both played at the same junior college, transferred to Division One, and eventually had to transition to pretty much just being, like I said, everyday working citizen. You know what I mean?
right.
Um, Before we continue, anyone that's new to my channel or new to this pod, please like, subscribe, share, all of the above. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. Now, with that being said, what do you think it is as far as why this discussion isn't really had amongst us? Because you know what I mean? I have noticed anytime, not even with just you, anybody that I competed against was on the same team with, whatever the case may be, we don't never talk about this part of the game. We just
Yeah.
reminisce about what was going on and what we got going on now.
Uh,
But we don't never talk about the specifics about transitioning to just regular everyday life. Like,
uh,
why do you think that's absent in our conversations?
I feel, I feel that because it's something we really don't want to approach. You know what I'm saying? Going from, I guess, being competitive in the everyday basketball life and being praised in most ways to like, damn, don't nobody really recognizing me. That's a hard transition, man, because I kind of dealt with it, especially when I went back home in Charlotte. People, I get love when I go back home, but just how to adjust to that everyday life. I never had a job, bro, before before
Thanks.
that. So I had to get my money other ways. So it was just like my mom, she didn't want me to work, honestly. So it was like a big adjustment to me, bro. Just trying to adapt to that everyday life, like working and, you know, okay, I ain't playing ball no more. And I'm in, from injuries and trying to adjust this working life. And it was a big adjustment for me, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It was very a difficult transition for me. Just trying to find my way. Like, what else? Because I'm good at a lot of things. A lot of people don't know that, but most people know me from ball. So it was just like, what is the next thing I'm gonna be great at? I kind of
Oh,
heard Kobe say that too. Yeah, Kobe had said that too. Like when ball was over for him, okay, what is the next thing that's going to give me that drive? Going to push me. And he went into animation and stuff. So I would myself was trying to figure out what is going to be the next thing for me. You know.
and before we even get into it, I wanna lead up into that conversation. I want to kind of touch on how it was for us, and well, mainly for you because I kind of
Mm-hmm.
spoke about all of this in episode 6, my basketball life. Check it out. You know what I'm saying? Plug. But I mean, this is about my partner right now. So I want to talk about this junior college experience, transitioning to the Division One realms and things of that nature. Uh, what what do you what was your best memory? Not even memory, like comparing junior college to Division One.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what which level did you actually have more fun at? You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
when was your best years? You think as far as your experience?
shit. What's crazy is, oh man, that's a good question. I would say I I particularly don't have one, but I would say my sophomore year in JUCO and my senior year at East Carolina, ECU. I would say those 2 years I probably had the most fun, and I learned a lot about myself within those years. It it's really not it's really in a difference. Tallahassee where we was at was kind of a what you would say a party city, especially for a JUCO. Then I go to East Carolina, known as the party school or whatever. But yeah, I would have to say my sophomore year, my senior year, I probably had the most fun. So I could say I got a little bit of both. Had the best of both worlds, the JUCO and D1.
I'm gonna have to say all my fun came in JUCO. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
Told you.
word.
It was both freshman
Uh-huh.
and sophomore year for me and my from my
Yeah,
perspective.
freshman year, yeah. We had a lot of fun freshman year. I can't forget that. It's just like some of the stuff that stuck out in my mind from my sophomore year and my senior year at East Carolina. Like, yeah, I had some of the best years of my life, bro.
Yeah, and the
Straight up.
difference, like for me, was freshman year was more about us fucking getting our feet wet in the college scene, like party.
Facts.
It was
Yep.
more of a like a college life, more that's why I enjoyed the experience. And then our sophomore year was more of a basketball perspective of as opposed
Yeah.
to went to the national championship or whatever.
Word.
So I mean, I really feel like I had my best years as far as fun experience and actually enjoying myself in
Mm-hmm.
JUCO. Now,
Uh,
and said, what was the biggest difference for you from going from JUCO to Division One?
the biggest difference I say is really is time. Like JUCO, student athlete and shit, what we did and all of that. We had more free time in JUCO than I did, at in D1, bro. It was like straight up. When JUCO, we might have, we had class and
Mhm.
go back to the apartment, chill, get some to eat, do what the fuck, if we ain't working out or practice or some shit. You know what I'm saying? We basically had free times on our hand. D1, I got there, it was shit, we had study hall. Then it might be shit before study hall, I might have treatment, especially because I was hurt most of the time when I was there. So then I had study hall, then we had class, then I had workout or practice right after that shit. Got to go study hall in the fucking afternoon. And then you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'd probably say time, bro. Just getting adjusted to that type shit. But JUCO, we had
So
way
that
way
was
more.
like for me, like just to have a different type of conversation than I pretty much had on the previous podcast.
Uh,
Culture shock.
yeah.
One in
Mm,
type of city slash town.
yeah.
Tallahassee party, you know,
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
in motion, kind of fast. When I
Uh,
got to Auburn, that shit was slow as fuck, bro. I'm like,
for real.
what? They like, I'm talking, this Alabama just ain't Alabama.
Yeah.
I'm from Atlanta. You from Charlotte,
Uh,
Tallahassee. Just imagine just everything fucking just slowing down. Like,
right. Right.
what, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course,
That's crazy that you said because and it was like that for like you know what I'm saying in Greenville, North Carolina, like it's small, but it's always like parties and shit. You know what I'm saying? They let's say it was a party school, but it wasn't like how Tallahassee was. You know what I'm saying? It was shit
saying that
going
like
on.
you don't really even know that's the thing until you experience it. Like,
Right. Right.
when I got to
Right.
Auburn, damn, this shit's slow. This
Low fuck
like
you up.
if it ain't a party going on, like it
Right.
ain't shit to do. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So mine is like the transition to a new town or a slower town as far as
Uh,
activity is concerned. I'm gonna say like the main thing for me. This is like, of course, I'll piggyback and agree with everything you said as far as time, study hall, practice. You know, what I mean, you pretty much like all that money that they put into you, they get
yeah.
their like they
Facts.
not
Facts.
barely giving you any time to yourself. Shit, even like the off season is barely an off season. Shit, you know what
Facts.
I'm saying? Hey, you may have
Facts.
a week or two or some shit, then you back to goddamn working out.
I, I'm telling you, yo, that shit was great. Like going into my junior year to my senior year, I was like me and my homie BLs. We probably the only two there. the whole summer when at ECU. Like, nigga, I was basically, I think, yeah, I probably had a week at home, or if that, or 2 weeks. Yeah, I think I had 2 weeks. The break before you go back for the fall semester. But yeah, bro, I was there like damn near the whole year. I probably went
Oh
home
yeah, my
like
shit
maybe
was three
twice.
days. I went
Yeah,
like 3 days for like Christmas break. Shit, even when I left Tallahassee to go to Auburn, it was only a few days I had to go back to the crib. You know what I'm saying? Like it was only a few
yeah,
days I had to go right to Auburn. And I know for me, one thing that was a major change, like I thought, and this was my thought coming from high school, going to JUCO to going to, 4 years.
uh,
I was like, I felt like it was gonna prep me from a physicality standpoint and the conditioning standpoint to be ready for
yeah,
this. That conditioning at the D1 level is something different, bro.
different, different. Listen, man, I remember doing the stadiums, D1 back at ECU. I was like, yo, what the fuck, yo? And I thought I'm thinking I'm in shape. I'm like, it was something different, bro. It was something different. And then we
And
had to like scramble the field, crazy.
we got there late because we was finishing up like summer classes just to make sure our credits was in line to
Oh,
got this
I
break.
got a story. I got a story about that too. I don't know if I don't think you know this. So that summer we had to take them classes. It was some shit they didn't tell me. So I needed like another. I was like a half credit short, some shit like that.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking I'm good. I'm driving back to Charlotte, and I had to be at ECU maybe like the next few days later. So I'm like, okay, finish this up. I gotta go back home, be home for a few days, then go up there. I get a call from Coach Barnes. Yeah, Cory, the situation that one of those credits is actually not accredited for, I guess, ECU or whatever. So I was like, maybe one credit short or half short, whatever. So he was like, okay, we can do this. You could take this 1 day class, or I think it was the 1 day class or exam. So I had to go all the way back to Tallahassee, bro. I had to drive. My brother went with me. My brother went with. I had to drive all the way back to Tallahassee, do that class or whatever it was, and I had to be at ECU the next day. So I drove 7.5, 8 hours back to Tallahassee, drop my brother off, then go to ECU that next day. Bro, I
Yeah,
was you talking about tired, nigga? I was through.
a lot of finessing going on with them grades.
Yeah,
Trying
yeah,
to over shit.
bro. They fucked me up. I'm like, damn, they could have told me that shit. Like, they had me do all of that, then wait till the summer, like a couple weeks before I had to go up to Greenville, bro. That shit was crazy. This shit was
So
crazy.
with you going to ECU or whatever, do you were you satisfied with your decision or do you regret it or are you kind of like in between?
Oh nah,
You had to do it again, would you take a different route?
I actually go the same route. I would just do things differently when I was there. Take advantage of certain things. You know what I'm saying? I would have went the same route. You know what I'm saying? I actually had of course, some high D1 schools besides ECU. It was a lot of factors that played into that. But
Right.
while I went there, because my old high school coach, he was the assistant coach there, and then a couple of my homeboys was already there. One of my close boys, Sam Hennett, he played. We grew up in Charlotte. He was there, so it was a lot of factors that played into it. But I would have went the same route. I just would have did things differently while I was there, though. Honestly.
Mm. Shit, me, I made the wrong decision. Oh, I don't know how it was for you as far as being or receiving like guidance. Like I don't know if you had like a OA coach or mentor or somebody that was kind of guiding you.
Mm-hmm.
I had nobody to really direct me. You know what I mean? The only thing I saw was SEC,
Right.
big Division 1 school, literally an hour and a half from Atlanta.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
straight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My
Right.
I feel like my talent is going to display itself as it has been. As I've gotten older, going to my next steps or spaces or whatever. And that's when I was introduced to politics. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um,
Right.
I didn't understand that I wasn't the head coach's guy. I was the assistant coach's guy. You feel what I mean? Like, but I'm young. I don't know. Shit.
You
I
don't
just
know
feel like
that.
they want a nigga.
But
You know
that's
what I mean?
but that's why I said my situation was like that my junior year. the head coach at the time, Ricky Stokes. He was a head coach, but I've worked with the assistant coaches more than I did him. Me and him kind of bumped heads, which is crazy. Like I got along with most of the coaches I dealt with, but me and him, it wasn't like outrageous, but I was one of the players that bumped heads with him. I remember in practice, he said something. It was like it was something crazy. I take accountability. If I fuck up, I fuck up. But he said something. I was like, what the fuck you want me to do? Like, what you want me to do? What you want me to do? I said that. Like, I'm like, bro, I was just tired of that shit, and some of the coaches were tired of that shit. So my high school coach who was there, he ended up leaving after that year. A couple coaches did. They couldn't mess with him like that. So it was just like, yeah, man, he showed favoritism to some people, but yeah, me and him kind of like bumped heads, but he was gone after that year. So that's why.
Lucky shit. My
Yeah, yeah.
thinking about practice one day.
Uh-huh.
Of course, shit. I was a scorer. That's what I did. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
So, I remember when Auburn came to like see me. It was at the that shootout that we used to go to every year at in JUCO, like the
The one
and
they had in Tallahassee?
no, it was in Ocala, I believe, like right outside Orlando. We went 2 years in a row.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. We played one year. We played Central Florida down there. I think. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So when they came to see me, shit, I went off that game. You know what I
Uh
mean?
huh.
Like 28 or some shit like that.
Uh
So
huh.
um, I figured that y'all saw what I can do, so that's why the fuck y'all want me or whatever.
One.
And
Right.
when I got there, they tried to turn me into a whole different player. They was like, well, the head coach that is, he really tried to just turn me into just strictly a shooter. Like I could do nothing else, just shoot. But the
Right.
thing is, he wanted me to shoot his shot, not the shot that I'm accustomed to. Like he wanted me
See.
to goddamn run corner to corner, corner threes and shit. I remember one day in practice, okay. It was two situations.
Uh.
It was one day in practice. I'm doing my thing. And I pull up, shoot a tray ball. I missed, but he had to stop the whole practice. And he tried to low key make an example of me. But I mean, I've always had tough skin, so it didn't really bother me. But it's more so confused. Like, what are you talking about? He like, what kind of? Of course, my name RT. Like, what kind of art shot was that? I'm like, the fuck.
Word.
This is a shot. That's what I do.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, what you mean? What kind of shot is that? Like, I'm
Yeah.
hooping. You feel what I mean? And then there was one time in film studies where we had a game. I don't know if it was a preseason game or whatever, but it was like one of the early games. I did
Uh,
like a jab step, one dribble pull up, hit the shot or whatever. He stopped the tape. All right, was that a good shot? What you mean?
right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what I said. I said, yeah, it went in. He was like,
Uh.
how you know he wasn't gonna contest? Like now you fucking with me, bro. Like what do you
Yeah.
mean?
Uh.
I'm an
Yeah.
offensive guy. Like I ain't worried about what the fuck they got going
What they
on.
got
Like
going
this is
on?
what I do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was just confused, and you know what I mean. Not to go into great detail because I've already done that. It was shit like that. He was just fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? And I just felt
But
like it was a
that's
lot.
one of the things. That's one of the things that a lot of coaches don't understand, that they fuck with a lot of players and take away their confidence when they do shit like that. You brought me here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? You didn't bring me here to, switch up my game just to be a spot up shooter. You brought me here to be a scorer. Now you want to switch
Like
up my game. Like they fuck up a lot of players like that, bro.
you
For real.
you came to see me play. You didn't see me just shooting spot up threes. Yeah, I hit a few
Right.
trey balls, but shit, I was taking the ball to the whole mid range. I was doing everything. Now I'm
Uh,
here. Now you trying to tell me what's a good shot versus a bad shot? What are you talking about?
yeah,
Like I
bro.
said, he was just a liar. That's what it comes down to. I'm not gonna go crazy on him like I did in episode 6, but
Uh,
yeah, he just lied. I tried to have like I don't know if you can remember. I was like very mature for my age as far as I
yeah.
wasn't really to the antics as far as on the
Right.
court. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just
Right.
didn't handle business. You was pretty much the same way as far as
Yeah.
your pro.
Yeah. Yeah. We was the
Um,
same.
so like I wasn't like getting emotional and shit like that. The only time I started getting emotional when like the shit that he was telling me wasn't translating to the court, like as far as my playing time.
Hmm.
I remember I used to have meetings with them. Like I used to have meetings with the assistant coach. Like, hey man, what can I do to see more time? Because I went from
Hmm.
starting to
Mm-hmm.
like, playing decent minutes to like sporadically playing, not knowing I'm gonna get in and shit.
Uh,
I was just confused, like, what the fuck? Like, granted, I ain't beside myself. Like, I know everybody else can go, but
right,
shit,
right.
my IQ, I always felt like my IQ gave me an advantage over
That
like
was one. That was one of my things
more
too.
athletic
Yeah, yeah,
individuals. You know what I'm saying? I was
yeah.
athletic enough, I could shoot, but I
Uh,
was like very, basketball savvy on the court and
right,
shit. So
right.
I wasn't given an opportunity to display that constantly. You dig what I mean? And so like
Mm-hmm.
it just was an overall bad experience. Now that was the only thing like as far as the school, my teammates and shit like that. I loved them. Like I love the school. Like I'm, to this
Right.
day I'll always be an Auburn fan. But
Yeah.
that head coach, like that nigga was a straight up fucking liar. Like, you
That
know what I'm saying? Like, oh,
my brother went through that too, which is crazy. Like at Winthrop, like they just took all his like him and a couple players. One little kid he had nice, his teammate, he just stopped playing basketball after that shit, bro. He's just like he fucked him up. The coach is like, you take away the confidence and you won't let them beat them, and yeah, bro, it was bad, bro.
and then I was like, I felt betrayed because I had put in so much work to get in shape because I was behind. Like
Uh huh.
I busted my ass to get into
Right.
game shape, Division 1 shape, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
and to
Yep.
see like me just sitting on the bench chilling, like what the fuck going on? You know what I mean?
Uh huh. Yeah.
Like I said, I wish I would have went in a different direction, but I think because I didn't really have no guidance.
Guidance. Yeah.
Even you know I wasn't expecting this from him, but even with
Uh
Coach
huh.
Barnes, he didn't really give me no insight of like who I should,
Man.
or you know what I'm saying? All the shit that he did while we was there, as far as trying to teach us how to be young men. When it was time to leave, it was like, okay, my hands,
In
you know.
his hand. Yeah, yeah. That's why. Yeah, it was like I get what you said, bro. Because it's well, a lot of times it be, I could relate to Norris than Coach Barnes. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah,
Because
definitely. He was
I
a
actually, yeah,
yeah.
man, that was my man. Like before I left, me and him used to talk a lot, and then shit, he even gave me some like bread, even gas money to get back to the crib. Like before I packed up, man, we used to have conversation. I ain't talked to him in a while, but like I could relate to him more. You know what I'm saying? Because he was actually in our position. He played Big East, so you know what I mean. So I could actually talk to him about certain things. But yeah, man,
My
a lot
problem.
of
I
times,
wasn't a talker back then. I ain't say
yeah.
shit. I was just
So yeah, yeah, I was like that too. But like, especially on the court, I might if somebody say something to me, but off the court, somebody about holler at them and shit. That's just maybe the Gemini in me because both sides. I'm an observer, so I I I watch and think first before I even say something, and once I get going, I get going. But yeah, bro, when you don't have that guidance, it's kind of tough. You know what I mean? So I could definitely understand that.
so so okay. Question before I get into this, well, a bridge question.
Hmm.
Did you ever have the opportunity to play professionally?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. With injuries though, bro. So I had I had a couple opportunities, but I was like, I ain't gonna lie, the pay wasn't right. So I'm like, ain't no point in going over there, especially if I wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? My leg and shit. I'm like, I'm already ain't healed. Like when I hurt my groin, bro, at ECU, it was like it was taking a toll on me, bro.
That nagging shit. It just kept.
Yeah, man. I end up before my senior year, and that's what fucked me up big time. So I told you I was up there the whole summer. So I'm getting right. I'm getting, getting like myself again. A workout we had like preseason workout like September. I'll never forget. And we're doing like the chair drill. I don't know if you remember. Like it's a drill. You got two chairs. The coach at the top. He throw the ball out. Y'all go around the chair. Then
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it
Mm-hmm.
was like that. And when I took off, I felt my shit like kind of like pop my groin.
Oh, you had
I
it
was
real.
like,
It wasn't
yeah,
like
yeah. My shit was yeah. I was out for about I was rehabbing that shit for. I came back in time for the first game, but I still wasn't 100%. I didn't get 100% until middle of my senior year to the end. That's when I started looking like myself, feeling like myself, playing better, putting up numbers. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, that kind of hindered me. So after that injury, bro, I had to get extra treatment. I had to play with this wrap around my like my hip and my leg. It was just something different. It was different, but it was taking a toll on me, and
right.
yeah, it lingered and it carried on even after ECU, bro, after school. So I had some opportunities, but I ain't gonna lie to they weren't really talking about nothing as far as bread. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna stay my ass over here. And that's when the adjustment came in. Trying to like, what the fuck I'm gonna do now?
So what was your what when you realized that basketball was over? What
I,
was that moment like? How did you like? Were you in denial at first, or you kind of was like, you know what I
I
mean?
was,
Took a minute to hit, or what?
yeah, because I I love the game so much and how far it's brought like the shit I've been through. I've always gotten through it, so it's just like, okay, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. Then when I felt like these injuries, it just kept coming. I'm like, bro, what else can I do?
Mm.
Then that's when I realized, okay, it's time to hang it up. Like even for the professional shit, it's time to hang it up. Like I was still playing in the city and money tournaments and all this shit like the TBT they have on ESPN, shit like that. I was still playing, but as far as trying to play professionally and all that, I said, nah, bro, it's too much. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. It just taking a
I feel
toll.
I realized that. Well, with me, I had made this little semi-pro team, but then I got into like a little trouble. Which by the time I had got that handled,
Mm,
they had already given my spot away. You know,
mm,
just some minor shit that
yeah,
was uh dealing with or going through, just making bad decisions and shit.
right.
I think leaving the structure of like the basketball realm,
Mm-hmm.
everything that's kind of set up for us when you get back to the crib and shit kind of can go left or whatever. That's kind of what happened. It wasn't nothing crazy, but it was something that like was a setback. I remember even another thing that happened with me is I was going to like little workouts or whatever. And
Uh,
what I was noticing was like, say you go to just a workout at some gym, you'll have like some players. Do you remember the only person I kind of remember? Do you remember that white boy named like last name Devendorf or some shit that went to Syracuse? He was
yeah,
like
yeah,
All
yeah.
American or some
Yeah.
shit. Yeah,
Uh,
I remember he was at one workout amongst some other people, but he was the one I remember because he was the only white boy, and he stood
uh,
out because. And I remember him and there was some other players, and all of like the coaches or so-called scouts or whatever, all their attention was on them. Like we'll be over here doing some shit, and everybody just
uh,
focused on them. I'm like, here go that politics shit again.
yeah, that politics, bro. Politics.
So I went to a few workouts, and then I was like, you know what? I ain't fucking with this shit. You know what
Right,
I'm
right.
saying? I'll figure out another way. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
So we don't even really be thinking about it or realize like once the sport stops, whatever that may be, that lifetime clock speeds up. Like you'd be like, okay, I got it. I got a few months. I got a year. I'm still young. I can, what I mean? Shit, well, I'm 25, 26. I'm
Yep,
still straight.
yep,
Not,
yep.
not realizing like you ain't adding nothing to your resume. So ain't
Oh,
nobody checking for you.
is that and that was a crazy thing. Just like and that I realized like kind of late because like I said, I had love. I still got love for the game, but it was just like I ain't adding shit. I ain't really. I mean, they look at that. Some people they look at that type of shit I was playing in, and I actually seen a couple niggas get somewhere with that, but it was just like, bruh, I wasn't going as hard as them as trying to, make something happen. So it was just like, yeah, it's time. It's time. And that's speaking of adjustments, like in guidance, I ain't even have a I ain't when it came to that world, I definitely ain't had no guidance. So
What?
I had to learn everything about my goddamn. So I'm like, bruh, I ain't had no guidance.
Yeah,
That
I'm
shit.
glad you brought that up because that's what I was going to transition into
Mm,
as far as that part of things because I was in
mm,
the boat. Like I
mm,
ain't know how to goddamn build a resume or make a resume. Shit, I ain't really
mm,
have no experience,
mm,
and even with a degree, so to speak, they ain't looking for nobody with no experience. Like I don't got no corporate,
facts.
I don't got no office experience. Like a motherfucker had to
Mm,
start at Sam's Club,
yeah,
and what I mean by that is like shit, you got to get some money some way. Like I had to
right.
try to figure some shit out. But for me, that shit was like a crazy wake up call to the real world.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember when I first got back to Atlanta or whatever. I was
Uh-huh.
like, I was already used to not, staying at, my parents' crib or whatever. We done been
Uh-huh.
away at school, living on our own and shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I had a room with a couple of my partners,
Uh-huh.
and not really even understanding how the dynamics of paying bills and going to work all the time and still wanting to work out and try to play basketball work. That shit barely
Boy,
lasted the summer.
man, listen.
I ain't realize how much. Of course, we got scholarship tech. Only thing we really had to pay for is utilities or shit like that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
After
yeah,
that,
yep,
rent,
yep,
utilities, being roommates with people that are not ball players, so to speak. I
yep.
mean, my homie, he actually he was a ball player. He actually is doing his little coaching thing right now, but
Hmm.
not of the same ilk. Like having teammates. You're actually in the real world, got to go to work. Like it don't work
Right.
like that. So what I mean, I ain't used to none of this shit. You feel me?
Uh-huh.
Like I kept my job for like 2 months, 2 months
Uh-huh.
if that. Motherfucker,
Uh-huh.
like I was still used to even goddamn partying. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what
Like,
I'm saying. Like the adjustment. Yeah, my first that first job I had, like that shit. Mine is about the same. Last like 2 months. It was like some little bullshit data entry type shit. You know what I'm saying? First, like I said, I never had a job. I never worked. So I'm like, man, never. I remember saying to myself, like, damn, people really do this shit like every day. Like,
like
nigga,
how?
I was like,
How do you say 8 hours anywhere? Just
and it
doing
just
the
sit,
same shit
yeah,
over and over again.
over and over, bro. That shit was like, I was like, damn, I would really do this shit. I was
Boring
like,
as
man,
fuck.
this, yeah. I was like, man, nah, man, this shit ain't gonna last. And then I tried to become like, man, I got to do something that I enjoy. But a lot of times, those could be the hardest things to get into, and they don't pay as well. You know what I'm saying? But I end up transitioning and doing, some logistic stuff, and and I like software too. And so once I found my niche, you know what I'm saying, I just stuck with it. But it still is a big adjustment, bro. That shit is crazy.
I'll tell anybody that is that I have this conversation with. Hell, I've even I've mentioned it over time on different episodes or lives or whatever it is. Like I really went through a real life depression. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was more of it wasn't only that basketball wasn't happening for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was you know even though I wasn't the most social, I just remember how much love I used to get. You feel what I'm saying? And how
Mm-hmm.
people wanted to fuck with you, even on some
Mm-hmm.
like, even if they wasn't real friends, but partying, hanging out,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
partaking. I'm gonna leave
yeah,
it at that. Just doing
yeah.
all that. Like when everything came to a stop, I was just like, the fuck. And then you start trying to think about ways of getting money fast, so to speak.
Yes, yep.
And if it ain't the most, like I ain't talking about moving weight or nothing like that, but shit, you trying to thinking of
Listen.
like, ways to finesse. I even remember one time, like I ain't gonna lie, I hit up my partner who he was a plug. He was a
Uh,
weed. Hey,
yeah.
bro, how you kind of get into that?
Uh,
That's how desperate I had got. You know what I'm saying? Because I
man,
I
but
I,
don't
didn't, I
don't.
wasn't used to working,
That's
like
what I'm
really
saying. Don't
working.
that, bro. I got more stories of me losing money, like especially after school. It's funny, like shit. I didn't
Shit. Like we'll
been
try
through.
to inquire like that when I hit up the plug. That was just an inquiry. I wasn't about to do it, but
Right,
I told
right,
him,
right.
damn, bro, how you doing,
Yeah,
man? Then when he told me, I'm
yeah.
like, I thought about it for like 2 seconds, like, yeah, I ain't about that life.
Right, right,
Still,
right.
I tried to tap in and see what was going on.
Yeah. See, but then it's crazy that you even brought up like even the the depressed state. I think we all go through because I kind of went through it myself, man. It was just really trying to find my identity outside of basketball. That
Like
was
I didn't
big.
didn't have one. Like I didn't know shit else. Like you know what I mean? Like
But
that was it
and
for me.
see me, like I know, but it was the opposite for me. But a lot of people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't speak on it. Unless you like my brother, he might my brother know. You know what I'm saying? It's certain shit, but a lot of people don't know. Yeah, I do have other talents, but I don't speak on it. I am, maybe because I was a little, well, how can I not as confident in those as I am in, basketball. You know what I'm saying? Basketball, that's second nature. I breathe that shit like I know that shit like the back of my hand. But it's other shit that I have talent in and I'm knowledgeable about, but I really ain't pursue it. So I'm like, damn. what is my identity outside from net? You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of people that didn't know I played ball, but they kind of like yes, because they say you look like a ball player, but I didn't want to. You know what I'm saying? They don't never. You know what I'm saying? That you can figure it out. You look at somebody, oh yeah, he can play ball, but I kind of like that. You know, some people don't know me just from hooping and shit. So I roll with it. But yeah, I did have a little time period in my life where I was trying to figure out my identity outside of basketball.
Yeah, you better than me. I ain't have shit going on with basketball. I ain't know how to do nothing but play
Yeah.
basketball and play video games. I ain't know,
Uh.
bro. Like I literally had to teach myself other things. Like, of
Hmm.
course, I just told you about that bullshit inquiry I did. Like, hey, hitting up the plug. Hey, what's going on with that? No,
Yeah.
I ain't
Yeah.
about to be goddamn the plug. Like,
Right. Right.
I'm
Right.
just thinking about shit, how to get some money. You know what I mean? Like, I even tried rapping. You feel what I'm
Uh.
saying? Like, I think everybody from Atlanta didn't had their hand in that shit. You
But
know?
see, that's another thing. Like, cause I know music. I ain't saying I put out music, but I know music is one of my loves. A lot of people don't know that shit. My
Yeah.
homeboys know. I was like basically the plug for like mixtape or songs and shit. Like that's been me. Like my music is like one of those things that just come, like breathe, make me feel better. Whether it's old school R&B, hip hop, like I listen to all that shit. But that's one of my loves. But I don't see myself like I ain't trying to be no A&R, no shit like that. I always try to implement it like going to the future, like how shit is now. So how can I implement basketball like sports or something into the future thing? I just seen something, not to get off track, but I don't know if you seen the basketball goes with the TV inside of the backboard and shit, where you can watch TV and shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
nah.
I don't know. Yeah, they got that shit now. I'm like, man, that's the shit I be thinking of, but I don't know how to get that shit started. You know what I'm saying? I want to incorporate. I love basketball, I love music. So how can I incorporate it to a career or an invention or some shit? So
Yeah, at least
it's
you
a
was
part of the
forward
identity.
thinking. I was stuck for like some years, bro. Like I think what it was for me was I knew that if I made it in basketball, that was the fastest track to get the money in my pocket,
Get the
and
money.
it would be
Right.
easy because that's what what we do or whatever.
Right.
So I think I was trying to replace that with something else that was gonna be like a fast track to money versus
Yeah. Yeah.
really putting in 40-hour weeks and shit like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I
Yeah.
remember for one time I had this warehouse house job. This is when I was just trying to, get some money, by any means or whatever. I was working third shift, and I just remember thinking to myself, and this was a part of me being depressed, taking these odd jobs and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, bro, you went to one of the most prestigious high schools in the nation
Mm-hmm.
to, JUCO, went to the national championship. Nigga, you was at Auburn. Now look at me, third shift, goddamn, with a vest
You,
on.
you thinking like, how the fuck did I get here? How the
What
fuck did I get
happened?
here? So
You know what I'm saying?
do you think like because I looked away at that time I had a little period like that,
Mm-hmm.
but now that I'm older and a little wiser, I'm thinking like maybe I had to go through that to really understand like maybe the person I am today because not the same shit. I had the same rap like the same thoughts like okay I make some money off ball, then I can actually do what the fuck I want to do. The other stuff and everything be great. But it gets to a point like, damn, I could say that I am a better man after going through certain shit. You know what I'm saying? Certain things that I went through, and it made me okay. I could say it made me wiser, but at the same time, made me learn some things about myself that I ain't know. That I thought I had or knew about myself. But I had a little period in time in my life when I was going through that shit. Like, man, what the fuck am I doing here? Like,
Mm-hmm.
seriously. And I kind of had that stage, man. So, but I got through that shit. It was rough. It wasn't easy, but it definitely took some time. But I got through it.
I think like how your approach was once I realized that I wasn't gonna fold because a lot of times
Mm-hmm.
a lot. And I'm not gonna call out any of my former teammates, but I have like one teammate in mind. He just didn't know anything outside of basketball, and
Mm-hmm.
he moved back to the crib and just got some just working with the family and shit. I'm not gonna say what because of who's out
Mm-hmm.
and I ain't trying to
No,
put my
I
man's
got
out
you.
like.
Yeah, I
But
got no, I
it
got
was
you. I
like
got
I look at him and I look at myself like,
you. Uh-huh.
and I actually appreciate going through all that shit because it actually allowed me to start having or forcing me to figure out what is going to be my next act. What am I going to evolve into? You dig what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And what started to happen was, and this kind of led up to where I'm at now in this podcast space or media space,
Mm-hmm.
is I started to hang around different people. I
Yeah,
started
yeah.
to have like different conversations.
Patience.
Started
Yep.
to realize that everybody has gone through something, no matter which which area you come from, which
Mm-hmm.
walk of life you traveled or whatever the case may be. Everybody has
Right. Right.
so started to realize that like having general conversations about life, ambition,
Uh,
goals. You know what I mean?
yep.
Even talking
Yep.
about your past and how you got here. I'm like, bruh, you really like to fucking talk. You know what I mean? Yeah, so like I'm like my regular, 8 to 5, that's what I'm doing all day. I'm talking, you know what I mean? This shit
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. But and I started to find it therapeutic.
Yeah.
So like it kind of started to lift me out of my depression. Not
Mm-hmm.
even real like I didn't even know I was depressed when I was depressed. That be the thing. You don't really
Yeah.
really
Yep.
you're
Yeah.
depressed you because for one, it's the first time you really going through some shit in your adult
Yeah.
life. You feel what I'm saying? Like, when you're young, college, high school, yeah, that's goddamn, you ain't getting your way, you don't understand shit, blah blah blah. But
Uh-huh.
now when you have, having to stand on your own too and have to try to, provide for yourself and shit, like that's when shit get different. You know what I mean? That's
Uh-huh.
that real like, oh shit, this is what they talking about. The cliche, you being a parent, me being a parent, did what our parents said or OGs like shit. The world ain't gonna be, it's a cruel world out there.
Right.
We didn't understand that shit when we was younger, but shit, we
And,
know that shit now.
and know it now. I was about to say, man, that shit. That's it was a rude awakening though, but yeah, definitely know that shit now, bro. I tell you that much, man. Mm.
Yeah, and it's just like, and I think, and the crazy thing about it is, all of us are going through the shit that you went through it, no matter how long or how short it was. I went through it. You don't know how many athletes just in whatever sport were going through the same things, you know, possibly at the same time, and we think we the only ones going.
Right, right. Yep.
We like, ain't why the fuck this shit happening to me?
Happened
Why
to
is
me.
it going, how I planned it? Why did my blueprint not work?
Uh,
You feel me?
uh,
And then you
uh-huh.
looking at like, say you watching the game, man, I'm better than them. You know what I'm saying? Then you
'Cause
start getting jealous a
It,
little.
it was a point in time, a little bit after college. Well, yeah, after college, when I was trying to pursue my pro career, then when I finally like hung it up, like I couldn't watch basketball. I couldn't watch. Couldn't watch college. I couldn't watch college for like I want to say I couldn't watch college for maybe a couple months, few months after that. I was still watching pro,
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
you weren't fucking with the college game, really.
Yeah, I couldn't watch that shit because that shit. I was getting not resentment towards the play. I was just getting mad. Like, man, I I just wish I did things differently. Like I said, I would have went the same school, same route, and I was taking some accountability. But it's just like I was telling you about the coach my junior year. It's just like, man, I should have just been on some like fuck that shit because ain't nothing he could have said or could have done for real, for real. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
ain't like he was gonna sit me. It was just like, yeah, that junior year, man, it was a lot of ups and downs, but I couldn't fast forward when I stopped playing, just looking at ball. I'm like, man, I can't watch this shit. I can't
Oh
watch
yeah,
it.
even as I got older, I was like, man, even though the coach he fucked up my shit, he fucked up
Mm-hmm.
my confidence and my trajectory. The the way I am now, as far as going through what I went through, and being able to pretty much recreate myself in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought like shit. I should have worked harder. I should have goddamn just stayed in the gym. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
my mindset back then was like, shit, I ain't playing shit. I'm gonna shit, enjoy college life. What you talking about? Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah.
that was my mindset. I should have lived in the gym and just kind of
Uh-huh.
lived with the result. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Always been ready.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. But I'm with you, man. And I feel like we all go through things for a reason. I feel like our script's already written.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like at my age now, when I reflect on shit, maybe I wasn't supposed to, be in the basketball space like that. Maybe I wasn't supposed to, play professionally. Shit, I even, tried my hand at coaching,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, I was damn good. I was a damn good coach, but as far as the fulfillment I got,
Mm-hmm.
I loved it more as a player.
Player. Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Me
Man.
too.
So what eventually happened when I kind of just let it go, 100%
Mm-hmm.
coaching. Of course, my playing days were over. I was like, you know what? There's other things in life that
Like,
I'm interested in, that I want to
mm,
explore. You know what I mean? I just want to be a fan of the game. I don't
yeah.
necessarily
Yeah.
involve directly
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
be.
Because somebody like they probably did it to you too. Like a lot of people approach me with the like, man, why you ain't coaching?
Yeah,
Like even when I worked my old job, like, man, you should be coaching. Why you ain't coaching? I was like, that really ain't my thing. Like I help out. Don't get me wrong. I've coached before. I was trained. I used to train. So
yeah,
I enjoy training actually more than coaching. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. But yeah, I get the pro. Yeah, why ain't coach? I'm like, well, that really ain't my thing. You know what I'm saying? I love the game. Don't mean I love that as a player. And
right.
then if I make a player better skill wise, yeah, I can do that. But yeah, it just wasn't me coaching. Nah, it's just not my thing.
And another thing I ain't like about coach, like how we grew up, we was
Mm.
got this getting out the mud like motherfuckers
Yeah.
now, or this younger generation, outside of of course, the supremely talented ones that that make it. All
Hmm.
of these kids don't be understanding the work ethic that's involved in that shit. And because I'm such a student of the game, that shit used to piss me the fuck
But
off.
yeah, it gets to you. It gets to you. It do. It
Like
do.
I
Like, bruh.
remember, I remember it was like more than a few times. Like I had an AU squad or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I would come to the crib in the worst mood ever because I felt like they didn't give effort. Y'all think this is a game? You know what I mean? This is the shit that.
They they want things handed to them. Like I
Oh
said, we
yeah,
got good. Like we had to,
the only time
I,
they played was practicing the game. They ain't
and
playing outside of that.
that's what I'm saying. That's who's just spoke on it. I think maybe Stephon Marbury. He was like, I guess he was getting some flack for saying that something about the trainers. He said your trainers not gonna be there with you all the time. He said y'all got to get out and start playing more. These kids today they don't play like how we used to play.
And the ones
Like
that do are the ones that are successful. But the only thing that these kids are seeing, and which is the gift and the curse of social media, they're just seeing the highlights.
highlights. That's it.
They
That's
just
it.
seeing them going off. These motherfuckers putting in work. That's why they
Yeah.
able to play
Yeah.
what they playing.
But
But
we
they
played.
don't understand that part.
We used to go to the courts all the time. Like we used to play against grown men. Like that's how I got better. Like honestly, now one of the regrets I do have from my early years, like high school, I never really like worked on my game. I sometimes I did, but I was playing off talent, like because I didn't have no guidance. Right? If
Right.
I had somebody like there pushing me, like I didn't live like I ain't live my pop. My pop was gonna like, but he lived in another city. My mom was always working, so I only had me and my niggas. Like all we did was go hoop. You know what I'm saying? We ain't doing shit else. Like we were doing other shit, but you know I was focused, but I wasn't. I was just hooping. I play all the time, and then like my coach, my freshman and sophomore year, we had good decent coaches. After that, they was gone. We had a coach who ain't know shit about basketball, so we playing off talent. He kept us in shape, but my high school team, my junior team, and we was nice. We was just playing off talent. That's how we went. We had no plays. Everything was running gun, and still almost won state. We just lost. We lost in the semifinals. It was crazy. Had one of the
Well,
longest had one of the longest games in high school history. We had the lights went out like a minute and 34. Uh the fourth quarter, we down 4 points. We playing at Wake Forest, so Charlotte like almost an hour away from Wake Forest.
right.
And the team playing was from Winston-Salem, where Wake Forest is at. So we had to go all the way back to Charlotte, come back the next day and finish a minute and 34. Go to school and everything. And come back and finish a minute and 34, bro. So yeah, bro, it's just
Well, you know
It's
what?
just
Now that you say that specifically, that makes all the sense in the world because I always thought you were talented as fuck. But I'm like, why this man ain't like, I was here. I just love
every,
my
but
basketball. I was like, why? It should have been me and you being like the
but
damn tandem at CCC.
that
Like, you had it.
that's that's I regret. That's what I'm saying. People been telling me my whole life, like I said, I was in high school. Yes, I ain't to my own horn. I never speak on
Oh
that.
yeah,
But
you
yes,
come easy in high school though. That's easy work.
yeah, yeah. What I'm saying, I was one of them niggas. But even outside of that, playing against professionals in high school and niggas, they knew what it was. Like, you know what I'm saying. And when I got to Juba, it's kind of like at times I didn't. I ain't gonna say I ain't played in my full potential, but I kind of like held back. I
Oh,
did the
you
same.
back shit.
Yeah, yeah. What I said, I did that shit at ECU. That was one of the regrets I was talking about. Just like niggas saying, they were like, bruh, they knew what time it was. You know what I'm saying? When I wanted to show it in certain games, I would do it, but because I was an all around player. And then when I wanted to show it, that's one criticism I would take for my game, that I didn't do it all the time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That
And that
that's
was
that's
and that was the thing with me. Like shit. Like I feel like okay, the contrast between us. Of course,
mm-hmm,
we're both really good basketball players. You were naturally talented.
mm-hmm.
I was talented, but I worked hard to become.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
You
But
hit it right. Like that's a perfect example, bro. That was a perfect example. You right, bro. Like,
I was like,
yeah,
okay, like my thing. Even in high school, I had this idea like, if I score 6 points a quarter, bro,
uh,
that's an easy 24. I was
20,
like thinking about that. You know what I'm saying?
man.
Like,
Like,
if I get the free throw line, that's 3 points. Like
but
I was like that
that's
type of player.
one of your gifts. Like, you was already mature enough to, you know what I'm
Like in the
saying?
basketball sense, yeah, I was
Yeah,
thinking about
yeah,
that shit like early.
bro. I didn't get that shit really until college and a little bit after college. Like the way I started looking at the game, like the way I look at shit now. A lot of people don't look at shit. I look at, even when I'm watching the NBA game, I just look at shit. Okay, like certain spacing, like even when a person come off the dribble, I look at the game differently now. If I had the knowledge that I had now back then, like, man, God knows where I'd be. But it
I had the
just,
knowledge, I just didn't have the. I think the first time, like Auburn, and just to touch
mm-hmm,
on this like shortly because we're about to wrap this shit up.
mm-hmm,
If I had the will to fight through the adversity,
mm-hmm,
I would have been, a much better. I think things would have, came out, differently for me. But because I didn't understand politics and why it was happening, and again,
uh-huh,
I thought the game, so
uh-huh,
it wasn't adding up for me. Like,
uh-huh,
what the fuck is this? And one thing that used to fuck me up too is like the grad assistants and the assistant coaches used to like walk by me in practice or like preseason workouts or summer workouts. Archie, we got to find a way to get you on the court. And I'm like, so y'all see it? Why y'all don't talk to y'all man?
so you man,
You feel
right,
me? Y'all
right,
saying this shit to me, so that's why it just wasn't registering. Like, and because it didn't make sense, I was like, I don't know what the fuck.
right.
You feel what I'm saying? Y'all see it, but the man don't.
You don't see it,
I don't.
right,
You know what I'm saying? Maybe he do see it, but like I said, after I left, I like, oh, I wasn't his guy. You
uh-huh.
know, I wasn't his recruit.
His
He
recruit,
his. And
yeah, yeah,
let's keep it honest. I'm gonna keep it a whole buck. I don't want to make this a race thing, but when you have a white coach, they do not want to admit when they're wrong.
wrong, yeah,
The person that
yeah,
they had in front of me, he was definitely not better than me, but because he was his recruit, he didn't
uh-huh,
want to, draw back and be like, okay, this my assistant coach who was a black man who
uh-huh,
recruited Archie was right.
uh-huh.
I was wrong.
I kind of went through that, before in my life where, cause I started all my life except, when I first got to TCC, a few games and when I first got to ECU, but I've been through those moments like, man, I know I'm supposed to be playing, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like I talked to my cousin, my brother, something like they seem like, but I put up with it. I just fought through that shit because I knew my time would come. But yeah, bro, it's just even the heart. The heart back on that the talent gift thing. I always looked at it like, now I look at it like AI. AI was naturally gifted, talented. If he would have put the work in, like Kobe
Yeah,
did.
that's why his career didn't last
That's
as long as it
then
should.
as long as it's because he started getting injuries and stuff like that. And I love him. I love both of them players. But if AI had that mindset like that, bro,
Mm-hmm.
crazy, been crazy.
Final question:
Mm-hmm. You said what?
you miss basketball as a player?
Yeah, sometimes not as much as I used to, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes But I'm at a point in my life where I'm content. Like I'm
Right.
good. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got shit to prove to nobody. Sometimes some of these niggas who ain't never played before, they want to talk shit or call you out. I just laugh. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I'm good now. I'm at peace with it. You know what I'm saying? I got my boys, my two sons, so maybe you know they love sports. They love basketball and football. So who knows, man? So I find my joy in watching them play. But yeah, I'm good now, man.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't miss that at all. I mean,
Oh
I
really?
still I still love it. Like, of course, as far as I'm a student of the game, watching it and things of that nature. But
Mm-hmm.
the reason I don't miss it because I mean, of course, I miss the camaraderie that came with it
Mm-hmm.
and just how fun it was. But as
Yeah,
far as what happened, I accept that wasn't my path, and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I accept that doesn't allow me to miss it. You know what I mean? It goes back to
But that's why I'm at with it. Like, do I want to be? Oh, let 'em go. No, no. That's why I say I'm at peace. I'm definitely good, bro.
right.
I'm
Even like with the how people were suggesting that you coach, like even I tried that at my hand, it still comes up to this day. Even with podcasts,
mm-hmm.
I got people like, why you don't talk about sports, or why why don't you be on your analyst shit? It's like there's so much more to talk about
Oh,
than
yeah.
basketball for me. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, and another thing that happened while I was coaching that made me started even to rethink that. It wasn't just only the fact that I enjoyed it more as a player. There were still rules and regulations I had to follow as a coach. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to carry yourself a certain way. I remember
Mm-hmm.
in practice, a parent said something to there was like a the coordinator of the sports complex.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was like doing a drill, and as I'm in action, I guess my shirt came up, and they saw not my boxers, but you know how we used to wear basketball shorts and
Yeah,
basketball.
yeah.
They saw my other shorts, and they brought that to the attention of the coordinator, and he
What?
said some shit to me. I'm like, what the fuck? Like I'm in action, like you know what I
Right.
mean? That was one thing, and then I remember after a game where my team pretty much didn't, and it was a home game for us because like we had a tournament at the sports complex, and
Uh,
I had gotten they ass about not, and that was one thing I couldn't stand. Like I don't give a fuck if we lose. If you don't give me no effort, like
yeah.
I'm gonna fuck off.
But
So I
that's
guess the
okay.
coordinator heard me going off or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
he pulled me to the side. Oh, you gotta just watch what you're saying in your tone. I'm like, the fuck is you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like this is what they need. So again, I started to think back, like, okay, I remember, like, I even remember when I got to Auburn, we had like a meeting before, like, we got started or whatever, like, oh, make sure, like, when you're, with social media, make sure you're not seeing with any drinks in your hand, or make sure you know what I'm saying, shit like that. I'm like, so,
This at Auburn or the coaches this was at
well,
Auburn when
at Auburn, at Auburn.
okay. Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
like, I
Yeah.
started thinking, like, I kind of want to be my own self. Like I've been doing this for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
basketball wise. I mean, of course, as an athlete, we're not gonna get into certain shit like regular
Right.
local our
Uh-huh.
peers that don't have anything to lose. Like we gotta walk the straight and narrow, but then
Yeah.
can't really show our true personality. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we gotta put this perception out like we're perfect, so to speak. You feel what I'm
That,
saying? And
no, wait, I
that's
was on that
a
same
lot.
path, that same shit, bro. Like that's another thing, man. If I can't be myself, then I don't need to be doing. I, I don't need to be coaching, do none of that shit, because I'm gonna say some shit that's gonna rub people the wrong way. I might say something, might post something. That's just me. If I can't be myself, then I don't need to be there. honestly.
Of course, I'm gonna be respectful. Like I ain't gonna disrespect nobody, but I
Yeah,
can't just carry myself as a person in this space to where I gotta watch everything I say and how I say it and
right.
what I'm doing. And I'm like, you know what? That's too much. I've been doing this shit since I'm 7. I'm
Uh-huh.
done with it. Let me
Yeah,
figure out some shit.
right.
And hell,
Yeah,
like I said, you know what I mean? Like, I still love the game. I'm still passionate about the game. Like, I'm watching games all the time. The game on, I'm watching. Like, you know,
right, right, right.
that's never gone away. But as far as even at my high school alma mater, Norcross High School, I'll just pull up on some like random shit by myself just to catch the game, holler at the coach, and I'm out. Like I don't want no attention on me. I don't want no, you know what I mean. I just want to enjoy the game as strictly a
That's,
fan.
yeah, my barbershop over there, man. That's by my barbershop, bro. Right, literally, right
Like
down
I
the
don't,
street.
I just be on some like cool shit. Like I want to enjoy it. I just want to enjoy it from afar. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now I ain't gonna lie. If like I said, I got a partner, it'd be like, hey, I done got this league gig. I want you to come on staff. I'm going.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
money.
yeah,
That's
no,
money. I
no question, no
I ain't
question.
I ain't passing up that.
Hell nah.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back in the game. Shit, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that,
Yeah.
I'm cool, bruh. You know what I mean? But you know, outside of that, is there anything else you want to leave us with as far as just your thoughts on evolution? You know, finding your second act and you know things of that nature.
Um. Yeah. I just say, like I said, once again, I am at peace where I'm at, and what I'm saying, I don't look at things as why is this happening to me. I always, I learned to look at it is happening for me. You know what I'm saying? So that's my mindset that I've been going by for years now. So, I just feel like where I'm at today, I'm evolution. I'm all for being uncomfortable and for change, and just looking forward to growing each and every day as a man, not just who I was, but where I'm at today in life as a father, as a what I'm saying, as a IT person, as as a brother, as a son, just finding my niche and finding my ways throughout this thing called life. So yeah, man, just know I'm content where I'm at outside of basketball.
And yeah, just to piggyback off of what you said, that was I really wanted to have this conversation to get really intimate in that aspect of like former athletes' lives. I just feel like not enough of these conversations are had. So much of us have went through the same things. I mean, not the exact same things, but the same feelings of depression, anger, resentment. Because
Uh-huh.
it didn't work out for us, but we were able to find that second act. We were able to reinvent ourselves. We were able to make peace, learn, and mature and grow from what didn't work, and
Mm-hmm.
that's okay. You know what I mean? Like just because your childhood dream didn't come into fruition, so to speak, that doesn't mean you felt that life.
Right, right.
There's always going
Mm-hmm.
to be a roadblock. There's always going to be something that comes to an end. It's about how as cliche as they say, if you get knocked down, getting back up. Like
Back up.
that's all it really comes down to. So
Facts. Facts.
I really do appreciate this conversation. I'm glad that you were able to come on. We was finally able to top it up about this. Of course, if I need you again, I'm gonna be hitting you up.
Yeah.
I'm saying for different type of conversations.
Hey, hey, I'm here. I'm here. Just let me know, bro. Ain't no problem, bro. No
Before we get
problem.
out of here, you want to give the people your social media handles or what have you.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can check me out or follow me on Instagram, Cdot Farm. I need to get my X. I actually don't have my X account up right now, but yeah, right now just my IG, Cdot Farm. So holla at me on there.
Oh yeah, and with that being said, I was in my shows with everybody can talk, but not everyone can podcast. With that being said, we out.